Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Elliot here from Neanderthal Fitness, www.neanderthalfit.com, personal trainer, fitness instructor, and YouTube talk at the camera dude. So, sorry about the slight fidgeting around there, just trying to get the lighting good as I'm filming at night, and you know, this camera does not like low light conditions. So, today's topic is a potentially volatile subject. It's going to piss off a lot of people, and you know, I just don't really care. If you have an opinion on this and if it differs to mine, you know, if you put together a well-structured kind of debate, do some research into what you're saying and don't just blindly follow something you read in an article 6 years ago in a fitness magazine, then yes, I'll enter that debate with you. But for you know, the keyboard warrior types who are just going to say, yeah, no, I know this because I know this, without actually doing any research into it, please just don't. Okay, so what am I going to say that's going to piss off a lot of people is essentially I am going to say that partial reps are okay. And not just a partial reps okay, but partial reps are pretty much as good as full reps for the most part. Now, I'm going to have to explain myself here, right, so you guys don't get pissed off at me for saying this. But let's look at some anecdotal evidence first, and we're going to drop the bomb straight away and say, yes, the people that I'm going to mention are more than likely on steroids and other performance-enhancing substances. But that aside, there are a lot of people on steroids who are not as big as these dudes, right? So people like Zach Khan, people like Jay Cutler, people like Ronnie Coleman, people like Lee Priest, you know, all the bodybuilding greats. You ever see any training videos of them, and they are not doing, a lot of the time, not doing 100% strict movements. There's some body English in there, there's some kipping, there's some swinging, and generally they're not going through a full range of motion. Okay, so let me talk you through why this is the case. Okay, scientifically speaking is what I'm going to hit on first, and then some other minor points. So yeah, why is it as good? Why, Elliot? Explain to me why. Basically, muscle fibers have two modes, on or off. Every time a muscle fiber is used, is recruited by the body to do something, it fires on an all or nothing basis. That is to say, whether you pick up a pencil or you pick up a 50-kilo dumbbell, the muscle fibers that are activated to lift that weight are contracting on a 100% basis. They cannot just apply a bit of their strength, they apply all of their strength, which is the basis of how muscles work. Muscles are made up of many muscle fibers, and so to move a heavier weight you recruit more muscle fibers. The better you get at a movement, the more capable you are of recruiting larger numbers of muscle fibers at one time. Now, that's the basis for why partial reps work as a system. If you are doing a push-up, alright, I'm going to use a push-up as an example here. If you do a push-up and your chest touches the floor, the reason I'm going to use this is because people argue about this shit all the time. Like, when someone puts up a video of them doing an impressive number of push-ups, people comment and say, oh man, your chest isn't going low enough, oh, you're not touching the floor, ah, blah, 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 shit push-ups. Okay, fine. A push-up with your chest to the floor and a slow push-up, like a time and attention push-up, is much more difficult than a quick push-up, where you only go halfway down. Yes, I'll agree, that is the case. However, you need to take in consideration training volumes. If you do slow push-ups, where your chest goes all the way to the floor, you will only probably manage 10 to 15 push-ups in a set. If you're going to arms just breaking parallel, you know, so your chest is coming down towards the floor and then you're exploding back up, you're probably going to do 20, 30 or more push-ups in a set. Now, every time you do a push-up, whether you go all the way to the floor or whether you go an inch or 2 inches down, the muscle fibers you're using to push your body back up are operating on a 100% basis. Your muscle fibers are working exactly the same amount as they would if you went all the way down to the floor. Now, people come up with this bullshit all the time that if you don't do a full range of motion, you're going to grow only like a small section of the muscle, because you're only going to be activating fibers in one area of the muscle. That's not how a muscle works. Fibers run across the length of the muscle from insertion to attachment. So in the pec, for instance, your origin is somewhere up. Is it the clavicle? It's embarrassing that I can't remember, but it's up under the deltoid somewhere, and then it attaches to the sternum in the middle, okay? So the muscle fibers run across like this. Doing a shallow push-up doesn't just work the bit of the fiber here, it works the fiber the whole fucking distance, okay? So whether you're doing a half push-up or a full push-up, you are working, the muscle fibers you're working are working out exactly the damn same. And it's obtuse to say, if I'm doing a push-up only halfway down, but I go all the way to failure, whether that's 30 reps and chest to the floor is only 15, you know, I'm only working a certain part of the chest. No, what happens is your chest goes, okay, I'm going to recruit this number of muscle fibers, this is what I need to move the weight. Some of these then become fatigued and it brings in different muscle fibers. Once you have exhausted all the available muscle fibers and their available energy at that time, then you are unable to complete the movement anymore, okay? So once you have used up, say it cost 30 fibers and you've got 300 fibers, right? So you use the first 30, and then they go down, use the next 30, and you use the next, and then you end up with like these, you've got a few fibers left, but you don't have 30 left. Those last fibers, even if they get activated, they can't lift the weight. You know, and that's all the way across. So whether you're doing a half push-up, or a full push-up, or a half bicep curl, or a full bicep curl, you're recruiting the muscle fibers in the same damn way. And you're, you know, activating the same amount of muscle fibers. The only difference being, if you use an exercise technique like going halfway, which makes it easier, you have to perform more reps to tire out the same number of muscle fibers. So do whatever the hell makes you happy. If you want to do 100% good form, do. But if you want to go do half reps and do more reps, then do that, because both are going to work. You know, one is probably more optimal than the other, but both are going to work, and both are going to deplete the muscle fibers in the same way across the entire cross-section of the muscle. It's not going to give you a short muscle. All of that is bullshit, right? Muscles insert and attach where they do. That doesn't change. Like, the attachment of my bicep doesn't get shorter and further up my arm if I'm only doing half reps of bicep curls. That's a physical... no, it's just fucking bullshit. It's not true. It doesn't happen. Do some research into how muscles work before you go and say shit like this, okay? And now, a little bit of just side point to this is that if you're doing kind of a slight kipping movement, you're still recruiting the bicep muscle to pull up a bicep curl. Say you swing your body a little bit when you're doing a bicep curl. You're still recruiting the bicep muscles. And if you swing ridiculously, going like this, then yes, you're not working the bicep, but a little bit of a swing to allow you to move more weight is going to be more beneficial than doing a really strict form bicep curl with a shit puny weight. The amount of weight you lift directly affects the amount of muscle you put on your frame. So having a slight amount of body English in your workouts will allow you to lift more weight, will make you stronger, quicker, and give you more hypertrophy. So next time you're looking at some big old muscle dude and you say, man, his form's shit, think about it for a second. Just think, why is this dude fucking bigger than me? It's because something he's doing is working. And yes, if you want to be a professional bodybuilder, sure, you got to be on steroids. I'm not saying that you can get as big as Cali Muscle, although the guy does claim to be natural, so he's a bad example, but I'm not saying you can get as big as, say, Ronnie Coleman without taking substances that are going to improve your performance. But I'm just saying you can get as big as you can get naturally from doing half reps as you'll get from doing full reps. So that's the video. Like it if you like it, comment down below if you like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. Which reminds me, I do have to say I have a nice little thing. I told you guys a while ago I was going to do push-ups every day. I'm working on a little concept video at the moment, still going for a few more days, getting some more footage together, but it's going to be a bitchin' video explaining why rest days are just as much bullshit as the stuff I was talking about in this video. So, peace out guys, see you in the next video.